targeting vulnerable, terrified women and taking advantage of their fears to sell them overpriced aesthetic self-defense kits from AliExpress is already one of the worst business practices imaginable. But what if I told you that the items themselves from these keychains put these scared women into even more danger every single time they're carried or used? Here it is, the highly requested in-depth review of these self-defense resellers on TikTok and how their items can, and likely will, land you in jail and the hospital. Skydefense will be used as the example for this video as she's one of the most popular and egregious cases. I will litter in a few individual items near the end that I often see sold by similar accounts, but it's mostly based around Skydefense herself. I will be referencing sources and information that centers around the United States, as this is where the products are most commonly sold. In countries like Australia and New Zealand, I can almost guarantee that every single item shown in this video is illegal to purchase, illegal to import, illegal to carry, or even use, while in America it may vary from state to state. If you live anywhere else in the world, you can Google the specific laws of your area and share them in the comments below. But they usually all follow a similar logic and reasoning for the restrictions. I just want to quickly preface this video with one large glaring point, the biggest red flag in this entire story. Nowhere, absolutely nowhere, does Skydefense list materials, durability, or any actual instructions for the purpose of her items. Some of them are even advertised with incorrect names to seemingly dodge laws and restrictions. It's super common for the items to be wrongfully labeled as knives or window breakers when they're actually designed as novelty litter openers or specialist self-defense items like Couboutons. I don't think I need to explain why this is extremely dangerous. It's just important to remember that the customers who are buying these keychains are literally just handed a box of weapons that are potentially self-harming when used incorrectly, with no actual information provided on what they are or how to use them safely. Skydefense's own videos show incorrect and dangerous technique for multiple of these items. With all that being said, let's start with the most recognizable item in these keychains. Kitty knuckles. Yes. Cat knuckle dusters. They're often resembling a cat with the ears being replacement for the spikes or rounded edges in a normal knuckle duster. They're also known as brass knuckles in some places. They are designed to be used as weapons. Some people may consider or advertise them as simple keychains, but most jurisdictions classify them as offensive weapons that can be used to cause harm. No matter the design, whether it's shaped like a cat, it's shaped like a bird, it's shaped like a penis, it doesn't really matter. As long as it resembles a brass knuckle, it's made of materials that can and will be used to harm somebody, it is considered an offensive weapon. It is prohibited in states like California, Illinois, Michigan, and New York. They explicitly ban the possession, sale, and use of brass knuckles. Some states like South Carolina and Georgia make possession of brass knuckles illegal if you're using it with criminal intent. In all of the other states where brass knuckles are not outright illegal, misusing them can lead to criminal charges. It's almost impossible to argue in court that they're just a keychain, as they're designed, advertised, and sold with the intention of being used as knuckle dusters. Not only that, but the materials of actual knuckle dusters are designed for combat and self-defense. They are highly regulated. They're usually made of steel or other metals. Essentially, they're made from materials that are intended to cause harm to the human body when they are used as a weapon on the fist. A good knuckle duster should fit comfortably in the hand, allowing for secure grip and minimizing slippage during impact. The finger loops should be properly sized to be a snug fit and prevent the knuckles from shifting or slipping around during a punch. The overall shape should distribute the force evenly across the knuckles, maximizing impact and minimizing damage to your hand itself. It's very clear that these specific kitty knuckles are designed purely for aesthetics, not function. They are one size fits all with huge holes, likely designed around a man's fingers. Unspecified materials that are seemingly coated with paint. The ends are blunt and they are only useful in close encounters. If an attacker is close enough for you to use them on them, they're likely already causing serious harm to you. You should just turn around and run away. If these knuckle dusters are used incorrectly, you will literally break your hand. If they're used correctly, at best you'll bruise and wound the attacker, or maybe break skin, with an additional charge of carrying a concealed weapon with intent to cause harm. Number 2 is the stun guns. While tasers are designed for distant self-defense, stun guns are again for close encounters and require direct contact. Fumbling through clothes and bags makes this extremely ineffective, a problem which is only amplified by the fact that these cheap rhinestone stun guns are often extremely low voltage, and tests on adult males have shown that they do little more than cause discomfort.
Here's the science. Delicious. While that was really, really uncomfortable, that A, would not have disabled an assailant, and B, let alone have stopped them in the first place. But it really hurt.
Stun guns are legal in most states. However, there are a few exceptions. Hawaii and Rhode Island have laws that prohibit the ownership of them. Different US codes regulate the possession of firearms and dangerous weapons, which include those that rely on conducted energy like stun guns or tasers. Then we have the self defense, or often referred to as rape alarms. These alarms are notorious for providing a false sense of security. Carrying an alarm can create a feeling of safety that may not be accurate, leading individuals to lower their guard and potentially take unnecessary risks. This can be especially problematic in situations where heightened awareness and caution are crucial, such as walking alone in isolated areas. Because most people don't test their alarm in a public space to see the reaction, to see the sound, to see how effective it is, they're simply just carrying it around and hoping and praying that it's going to work when they need it to. When the unfortunate reality is, alarms rely on bystanders to hear and respond, which may not always happen, especially in areas with background noise or if the attacker is able to muffle the sound. Some attackers may even attempt to silence the alarm, or may be emboldened by the noise, potentially escalating the situation. The ones sold on AliExpress specifically have these clips that don't attach. It's just simply like a pull out and push in. Literally, just fumbling with it the wrong way will push the clip back in, not to mention the fact that the batteries last literally minutes. An alarm itself is not a substitute for effective self defense strategies and may prevent individuals from developing more practical skills. They also carry a very large potential for misinterpretation. The sound of a personal alarm can sometimes be mistaken for other types of alarms, like car alarms, leading to delayed or no response from bystanders. Other items often included in these keychains, such as whistles and other noisemakers, face similar issues. I know personally, if I heard somebody blowing a whistle at the park, I would assume that they were just playing football or they were with their dog, and I would keep walking by. The cheap AliExpress versions of these alarms are also notoriously quiet and often single use. You'd be better off yelling and actually bringing attention to the situation with words if people are around you so they can understand that you are in danger and you're not just making a weird beeping noise. While these alarms can be a helpful tool for personal safety, they should not be relied upon as the sole means for defense. It's crucial to be aware of their limitations and combine them with other strategies, including situational awareness, practical self defense skills, and potentially other safety devices. An alternative suggestion that I would personally give is an app alarm, such as the one provided by Aster. The majority of self defense alarms cannot call 911. They cannot contact your emergency contacts. They cannot do anything that your phone itself can do within the same amount of time with even more effectiveness. Physical alarms will draw attention to a situation, maybe deter the attacker, but it's not going to help you. App alarms go one step further. These weird looking things are often advertised as window breakers, but they are actually Kubotons. Firstly, and most importantly, these are not window breakers. They are not designed for, nor are they capable of, breaking car windows without an inhumane level of strength. Kubotons are a specialized self defense tool made for striking an individual and require specific training to be used correctly and effectively. The tips are rounded or flat, and they're often made of acrylic. They should ideally be used enclosed within a punch grip like this, without the thumb over the end, like is shown in a lot of skydefense videos. While there are instinctive uses for Kupitons, like using them to hit or strike an attacker at random, the actual intentions of limb locking and compliance that the Kupitons were originally designed and trained for in law enforcement have mostly been lost to favor a more consumer friendly, just hold it and hit somebody approach. They can be effective, but like all other items shown so far, they can also injure you if used incorrectly and require a close physical encounter. It is legal to carry a Kupiton in the US. State laws allow you to own a Kupiton without special permits, but your city or county may set extra rules. You can use a Kupiton for self defense, but using it wrongly could lead to assault charges under state laws. Now for the actual quote unquote window breakers slash seatbelt cutters. While these can be effective when they are designed and used correctly, the AliExpress and cheaper quality versions face difficulties breaking modern windows or cutting through seatbelts. Basically, if it looks like this and it costs less than $5 or it's included in a keychain, it is not going to work. And if you are relying on it in a life or death situation, it is not going to work. I would suggest this or similar options that are actually designed with proof that they are tested and made specifically for the purpose of breaking a window and not just being a little, like cute keychain accessory that might help maybe in the 90s when cars were made of different materials.
So let's verify using these sources, including NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and testing by AAA and our own 10 Investigates team. In that testing, spring-loaded and hammer-style escape tools easily break through tempered glass, the type that's typically found in your car's side and rear windows. But none of those same tools can break through laminate, the multiple layers of glass and plastic your windshield is made of so it stays together even if it breaks. So no, Robert, these escape tools do not work on all windows. And that is a problem because research shows more manufacturers are using that virtually unbreakable laminated glass inside windows too, making your escape tool useless.
Here in Florida, the laminated glass issue is a big concern.
10 Investigates first sounded the alarm back in 2017.
These new windows are forcing them to get new tools and training.
Time for my least favorite, the comb and key knives. These are not knives. These are litter openers. Unless being purchased or sold from an actual self-defense store, they're likely not made for actually cutting or stabbing somebody. These little key knives that are often shown were originally created and sold as litter openers, and I've had countless comments from people describing unfortunate incidents of them slicing their own fingers open while trying to do just that. Open a litter, as the blades and hinges are so cheap and flimsy. I can't imagine actually trying to harm somebody with a blade like this, and they're also highly illegal to carry in many places as they're considered a concealed blade. The length, function, etc. of knives that are allowed varies from state to state, but the general idea is that anything that disguises the blade and can be whipped or flipped out using a button or gravity in a millisecond is extremely illegal. Many states prohibit or restrict the concealed carry of switchblades and automatic knives, sometimes even possession or sale. Additionally, many states prohibit carrying any knife at all, especially concealed in sensitive locations like schools, courthouses, government buildings, airports, and other places where alcohol is served. Essentially, if you are carrying this, you might get arrested, and it's not going to help you in a self-defense situation. Additionally, if you use it for literally anything, whether that be self-defense, cutting a piece of paper, opening a box, you're going to cut yourself. A little bit further down the list, we have pepper spray. These are literally empty. I believe it's legal to carry pepper spray in all 50 states, but some require a license to do so. Most states have restrictions on the shipment of full pepper spray canisters without secure packaging, a specific strength of gel or spray, and the size and shape of containers that are allowed. In some states, they cannot be sold or shipped to anyone without first confirming their age, criminal history, and that they are not an addict. Hawaii and Massachusetts completely restricts the sale and purchase of pepper spray online. Michigan only allows one type to be sold. This leaves literally like 3 states in the entire USA where skydefense could legally sell and ship these canisters that are shown full of pepper spray. Unless they're changing the formula, packaging, and bottle size depending on every state that she ships to, it's extremely likely that the canisters are just empty and intended for customers to fill themselves. As there is absolutely no information provided on her website on the restrictions surrounding these items, I can't imagine the sheer amount of disappointed customers who are unknowingly buying a keychain advertised as an accessible self-defense option only to face investigation upon import or literally never receive it due to legal restrictions in their area. Last, but absolutely not least, we have the fucking puffball. You might be surprised at how short this video has been compared to the sheer size of the keychains that are being sold. That's because 90% of the items are literally just for decoration. There's no need for me to include them in this video because I don't think I need to explain why a puffball or 16 wristlets are not useful for self-defense. However, they do face their own safety issues, believe it or not. These are always advertised as keychains, meaning they are very clearly intended to attach to your keys. However, it's notoriously unsafe to actually attach these to your keys, whether that be your home keys, your car keys, or otherwise, as the sheer weight of the accessories alone has broken keys cleanly off while sitting in the ignition or door lock. There's nothing more unsafe than being locked out of your car at 3 a.m. in the morning in a McDonald's parking lot. These are the items that I could think of just off the top of my head while I was scripting that I've seen in these videos repeatedly that pop up all the time. If there's anything that I missed, please mention them in the comments. I might make a part 2 if there's enough. Otherwise, feel free to do your own research and share it in the comments. I love when people do that, when we just give bits and pieces so that people can build the full story of like how batshit fucking insane these keychains actually are. And with that being said, don't go to jail. Please teach yourself some actual self-defense tactics. I'm going to leave some resources in the description on things that can actually help you feel and be safe as an alternative to these shitty plastic $90 keychains that are being resold when they're made for literally $5 on AliExpress. I'm going to end this video not with a call to subscribe like I usually do because that's really annoying. I'm going to end it with a question because I'm genuinely curious and I want you guys to share your opinions on this topic. I just ordered a new mic, new camera too. And I've been wondering because people were complaining so much about the audio on some of my older videos, if you would like me to recreate, redub, just sort of like re-edit the original Nico Yanin videos with better audio and new additional information because a lot of shit has gone down since then. If you would like that, please let me know in the comments because I don't want to be making it if you guys wouldn't watch kind of the same video again. Obviously, there's going to be like a bunch more stuff and it's going to sound better and it's going to look better, but I don't want to just be pumping out like duplicate videos if you guys aren't actually interested in watching them. So please let me know in the comments. And until then, make sure to keep your handy dandy puffball on you at all times so you can tickle the attacker and keep them away.